What's up, guys? Welcome back to Trash Film Home Video once again. Today I'm going to do something a little different. Also, this is the third time that I've done this video, but I'm going to talk about Henry, Portrait of a Serial Killer. We're going to review this release as well, but at first I want to sort of give you a little backstory on my history with Henry. My history with Henry. That's what this is going to be called. At the time when I saw Henry for the first time, I was about 15, 16 years old. I was a bit of a late bloomer when it came to horror. I didn't really get into it until probably right before this. Like fairly soon before seeing Henry. I had seen all of the big franchise movies up to the point of whenever that was, which would have been like, let's see, 16, 17, 18, would have been in the 90s. I would have been 96, 97, 98, somewhere in there. And this was the first time going to this friend's house of mine. Her name was Corey Woody. From Charleston, West Virginia. I say that for a purpose. You'll see why in a little bit. I went over, first time I'd been there, it wasn't the first time we hung out, but the first time I'd been to her house. And, we talked about horror and stuff. She was a big horror fan. She's like, hey, have you ever seen Henry? And I was like, what's Henry? She's like, it's a movie. I was like, it's a horror movie called Henry? She's like, well, it's Henry, Portrait of a Serial Killer. She's like, have you ever heard of Henry Lee Lucas? And I was like, oh, okay, yeah. When I found out it was about Henry Lee Lucas, I was like, yeah, we gotta watch this. So we sat there, she popped the VHS tape in, and mind you, gotta remember this. At this point, I'd really only seen the Friday the 13th movies, the Nightmare on Elm Street movies, Halloween, some of the Child's Play. I had not yet seen anything quite like Henry. I didn't know horror like this existed at the time. And we just sat there and watched it, and I was absolutely blown away. I was blown away. I couldn't believe that this is like, first of all, this is like the very first confrontational horror film I ever saw. And yeah, just imagine that. Imagine all you'd really seen is Freddy, Jason, Michael, and then you sit down and you watch this. That honestly was probably the birth of where my kind of horror obsession came from. And it's thanks to Corey Woody. She also, for the very first time, showed me Dawn of the Dead. She was the first person to show me Dawn of the Dead. So whenever I think of Henry, whenever I watch Henry, whenever I watch Dawn of the Dead, I think of Corey. And the reason that I wanted to talk about this story, Corey passed away a few years ago. It was very sudden. And actually, strangely enough, I found out in a Walmart when I was checking out. I had just recently seen her maybe 3 weeks to a month before. And it was a bit of shock. I didn't know about it. For another friend of mine who I'd known for a really long time, who I hadn't seen in a long time at that time. So I hadn't seen him in a long time, and then he was telling me that one of my other friends had passed away. And strangely enough, that guy, Tim Conway, I'm going to say his name, also born and raised Charleston, West Virginia, he has since passed away too. He just passed away like a month ago. He was a year younger than me. So And anyway, I've been very introspective lately, very thinking a lot about a lot of things. And one of the things that I get into these weird, kind of loopy, you may think I'm a little nutty, but when we go, the old saying, you live on, and the memories of your friends and family. Well, what happens when they go? It's kind of it, isn't it? Your kind of your existence kind of, unless you're somebody like, a Johnny Depp or a Michael Jackson or a huge celebrity or somebody that's done something that's in history books. If you haven't done any of that, your friends and family's memories of you are all that's left. And when they go, you're kind of gone. Wrap your head around that for a second. So, with that in mind, and when I bought this, of course, like I said, every time I watch it or buy a new version, I instantly think of Corey Woody. So this is my way of kind of immortalizing them in a way, her and him. Who knows? 20 years down the road, somebody may see this and hear the names, and maybe for a second they'll think of them. They won't have known them. They won't even know what they even looked like, but they will be thinking about the people that I'm talking about. So, I don't know. Just something I thought might be interesting and kind of neat. So, rest in peace, both of you. Corey, Tim. They were both really great people. Yeah. So, anyway, sorry that got so wild and serious. Let's get a little less serious. Let's calm it down. Let's bring it back down. Let's have a little fun now. I'm sorry for making everybody sad. You're probably not sad, but you didn't come here for existential life crap, right? You came here to talk about and hear about Henry, right? Okay. So let's talk about this release. This is the Region B Arrow Video Limited Edition Henry Portrait of a Serial Killer. I did not get the 4K. I kind of found it to be a little excessive for something like Henry. I say that as there are 4Ks of Ticks and but anyway, what I mean is I knew that there wasn't gonna be that much of a difference between the Blu-ray and the 4K because it's a 16mm movie made in 1970. When was this even made? This is old. Was this 1980? I don't know. I don't see it here. But it's old. 1980 maybe. I don't know. It's here somewhere. I'm going to find it. I was trying to just be able to talk. And anyway, yeah, not finding it. Gonna move on from that. Anyway, so I just went with the Blu-ray. And what we get, is nice Arrow. It's got the postcards and it's Arrow. This is a great addition when it comes to a lot of this stuff. I mean, we're going to get our Henry booklet like we do in these. We get these booklets like this. And then we get the poster, double-sided, really cool. This is a really cool little, it's storyboards. That's fantastic. I love it. I'm sure you can tell in my voice there's going to be a but. There's a but. There's a big but. I absolutely 100% hate the transfer on this. It is, in my opinion, bad. It looks so washed out. It's almost as if they put a white filter over everything. I hate it. I hate it. I can't say how much I don't like this transfer. So I thought, well, maybe I'm crazy, and like, the old transfer from this one is going to be also that. It's not going to be good. It's not the transfer. It's the elements, right? This is also a 4K transfer, also full of features that are also on this. Now, there are new features on here. There's a new documentary that's pretty neat. There's a new interview with John McNaughton, and then there's all the old stuff too. So you do get all that on here. This transfer blows this one out of the water. They are night and day. No comparison. No I don't know. No. I put them both in. I put one in one player and I put one in the other player. And I went back and forth. I paused, watched scenes. There's this scene in this one where, there's a scene, and in this one, I didn't even realize, because of this one, that in the blue truck, there's a scene where he walks up it's in the very beginning of the movie. There's people passing football, and he walks up and goes up to the front door. And in the background, in the driveway, is a blue truck. In this, I didn't even see the bright red motorcycle that's in the back of that truck in this one. You see something, but the color is... Watching this, it's a bright red motorcycle. You go over to this one, and it looks like kind of... you can see a tint of red, but it's so washed out. So if you're not a super fan of this movie, I don't see, and you have this is not really a reason to pick this up, unless you really need that new documentary and all the extra little stuff. Like I said, then you're probably you're a super fan of this movie, which I am. I do, in this, I will probably keep this just for the simple purpose of the story that I just told you. I will probably keep both of these, obviously. I will never watch. I am hoping, and this is kind of crazy to say, but I am hoping that there is something wrong and we are going to get a replacement, and that this is not what they meant to put out. And I don't like to get on here and be negative, but I hate this transfer so much. So much. And this is also a 4K transfer, and it is miles better. This one is probably a little bit crisper. It's a little bit crisper, but that's it. So if you want to watch Henry through a glass of muddy, or a glass of when you turn on the hot water and you fill your cup up, it's kind of gray, it's kind of pale. It's that's what I feel like watching this transfer is like. It's like putting a filter of that kind of water over the movie. I digress. This is a very strange video. I apologize. I had a lot to get out. I had some things to say. If this is still in print and you're not a super fan, you do not need this. You don't need this. And if this transfer is for real and it's not a mess up, and this is still in print, buy this over this. I'm just going to be honest. Unless you are literally, like I said, you just got to have every edition of Henry, then search this out. Unless, of course, this is out of print. I don't know. I didn't check. That's going to be it for today, because I have just gone on this video is wild, man. This video is wild. Yeah. Anyway, I also thought about maybe doing a series of videos called My History With. And I would just pick a movie. Like this one is going to be called My History with Henry. Because, come on. H&H, If that's something you guys want to see, I would just basically get on here and talk about, when I first saw them, my first thoughts, if I can remember it. Obviously, they would be movies that would be very important and impactful to me, because there's tons of movies that I saw at certain times and I couldn't tell you, who knows where I saw them, when. Anyway, 16 minutes. This feels like an eternity now. I'm going to get out of here, okay? Thanks for watching. Appreciate you. And I don't know, man. Get in touch with somebody you hadn't talked to in a while. See what they're doing, because you never know. You just never know. So, all right. I'm out of here. Thanks for watching.